right now, I should use him as like a bit of a stress doll. You know how some people have stress dolls, to try and, relieve them of their stress. What they do with the stress doll is they literally just bash it on me. So like, that. That's what they do. That's why I feel I should be using Chansaz right now to do a little stress ball, because I am absolutely fuming with him. Don't you dare try and look me in the eyes and try and think you can slide your way out this one. Don't even think about it. Right. So you remember a while ago where the league announced the plans regarding the special events, how the stadium series was going to be. Hold on. Let me go and get them. Why have you gone? No! Hold the fort. I'm going to get some people. You're supposed to hold the fort if I have those happy moments, honestly. So, we did a bit a couple of while back regarding the special events. You can go and check it out on the channel. It's called Special Hockey 2022. And basically, it was me having my thoughts on what my thought about the special events. I'm just grabbing the mascots involved for the special events. That's what I'm doing. I've got them now. Right, so we found out that the stadium series was now going to be hosted in Nashville when they take on the Tampa Bay Lightning on February the 26th. The Winter Classic will feature the Minnesota Wild taking on the St. Louis Blues. Hi, Louie! You're in my good books. Yeah, you're in my good books, Louie. You're in my good books. Louie never does anything to piss me off, do you, Louie? No. Louie knows never to annoy me, don't you, Louie? Yeah, you're a good bear, Louie. Unlike this one. Do you want to give him a... In fact, before you go, Louie, and I carry on, do you want to give him a quick bash? Do you want to go? Good boy! See you later. Bye, Louie. Do you want a quick bye-bye to the viewers? Bye, Louie. Off you go. Go and measure Victor for his tinsel. Go and measure him for see what size tinsel he used to wear. Right, so we know those two will be happening. And the All-Star Weekend was confirmed to still be going ahead, despite the fact we have obviously got the Winter Olympics on the horizon. Because obviously for the last 3 games that the league allowed players to go, so that was Sochi 2014, Vancouver 2010, and Turin 2006. The All-Star Weekend was not held. Obviously, the All-Star Weekend in 2018 did go ahead, because obviously the league said no to participation in Pyeongchang. So that meant that we had to basically go into an All-Star Weekend in the baking hot sun of Tampa. Yeah. That was not fun. Especially for the Western Conference, because the Eastern Conference won the mascot showdown that year. So, yeah. I'll blame it on you. Let's side down first. Now, after the announcement that Vegas was going to get the All-Star Weekend, I learned something about the reasoning behind Vegas getting the All-Star Weekend and a weekend, because currently, at the time of recording this show, the league still has not agreed with the IOC, which are the International Olympic Committee, which are in charge of both the Summer and the Winter Olympics. They've still not reached that agreement yet that says players can go to Beijing next year. Despite the fact we now know our schedules, and our schedules that we currently got are the ones that factor in a break for the Olympics. So if we have an Olympic break, play will stop February the 2nd and won't resume until February the 23rd. So that's if we get a break. If we don't get a break, I'm assuming it'll be you rejiggle the schedule to make it work so it ends early April rather than late April, which is what it would be if we do a break. Now the reason behind the All-Star weekend going to Vegas is apparently so that it's in the West Coast, so that it can be easier for players to travel if they are going to be going to Beijing, and if they've been picked to go to the All-Star weekend in Vegas. But yeah, and if any players that go to the All-Star weekend, if they do get chosen to go to Beijing, they will have to immediately fly to Beijing after the game. However, I've learned, look at the schedule for the Winter Olympics next year, because I'm very Winter Olympic mad. I prefer it to the summer. I've actually looked, and apparently the hockey tournament begins the day before the opening ceremony. So, don't know how that's gonna work. So, now we got schedule release day, and they confirmed the date for the All-Star weekend. And I have to say, I am furious! I'm so annoyed! I mean, how can you? Oi, come here, getting shot. You're not escaping this. You're not escaping this. Sit there. You're not escaping this. How the hell can you schedule this All-Star weekend on the opening ceremony of the Beijing Olympics? How low can Commissioner Bettman go? Alright? The opening weekend of the Commonwealth... No. Oh, they said Commonwealth! Oh, dear. Oh, no, they said Commonwealth Games! Oh, dear. That would be a weird one. Because America doesn't compete in those. I think Canada does, but... Oh, dear. Because they're coming to Birmingham, which is not too far from here in Manchester, so that's why the slip of the tongue. But February the 4th is the opening ceremony for the Winter Olympics, and then February 5th, the next day, we're all in. Official start date, you know, some events will be starting before the episode. In fact, I'll bring those up for you. Because when I heard when the dates for the All-Star weekend, I had to me look, right, how's that affect Beijing? How's that affect Beijing? So I had to look it up. And the hockey tournament will be starting, I think it's the day before the opening. So, because in the Olympics, the last few years, some events have started before the opening ceremony even begins. And there are going to be a few events in Beijing next year that will start before the opening ceremony. Two of the sports that I actually do get quite involved in. Curling is going to start on the 2nd of February. Figure skating is going to start on the 3rd of February, as is the hockey tournament. And the hockey tournament will begin from 3rd of February all the way through to the closing, the last day of competition, which of course is February the 28th. It's one of the few events that will go on closing day. They also include curling, cross-country skiing, and bobsleigh. So they're all the few events that you'll have on closing day. So how's that going to work? If the league doesn't let players go, well, it's fine. It's nothing to worry about. But if the league does let players go, and the hockey competition begins February the 3rd, this league will have to pray that neither Team USA or Team Canada have games on February the 3rd, 4th, or 5th to potentially allow time for players who've been chosen to go to the Winter Olympics, but have also chose to go All-Star Games, to allow them time to get to Beijing. Because immediately once the All-Star Games over, the players that have been chosen to go to the All-Star weekend but are also chosen to go to Beijing, they'll have to immediately go on a flight to Beijing. So, I kind of don't want to have an Olympic break. I kind of don't want this league to have an Olympic break now, because if that's going to affect Team USA and Team Canada's chances of having a good start in, let's say, the opening rounds, then I'd rather you lot just can do what you're doing, like you did in 2017-18, and I'll just have a lovely break. I'll just have a nice break for the Olympics, because that's what I plan to do. And obviously I'm going to talk more in depth on the opening episodes of T Report Season 4. So it's well worth listening. If you haven't already subscribed to the podcast, it's well worth you doing that now. So when Season 4 starts in September, you are going to be well aware what the plan is regarding the Olympics and what the NHL plans to do. I don't know if by the time we get to September, if we'll have a clear, definitive answer. If we do, great. That means I can record it in the show. If not, well, we'll just have to wait and see. It'll probably end up being a T Report big thing rather than part of the podcast. But to make it very, 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 very clear, regardless what happens next year, whether the league has an Olympic break or doesn't, I'm having an Olympic break. Okay? Because it was a pain in the nightmare in 2017-18 trying to follow what was going on in Pyeongchang, at the same time keep an eye on what was going on for the AHL. And what made matters worse, because I live in a Commonwealth country, we had the Commonwealth Games. In that year, they took place in Australia. So they started them in April, because that's more summertime for Australia. So that meant immediately, as the playoffs were beginning, we were in the Commonwealth Games. And it just got... Can't cope. I can't cope with it. So I immediately, at the end of the 70-80 season, I immediately thought, right, I don't care what the morons in charge decide to do regarding Beijing 2022. But what I'm going to do is I'm having a break. Because I'm not putting up with this, okay? There will be plenty, because in my mind, there will be plenty of other AHL seasons down the line. There's going to be loads more AHL hockey for me to come still down the line. But the Winter Olympics only comes around once every 4 years. And of the 2 Olympics, the winter and the summer ones, I prefer the winter ones. I'm more involved when it comes to Winter Olympics. I feel like I try to get to watch more variety of the sports when it comes to the Winter Olympics. Where summer ones is just, there's nothing else. I'll just have to watch that, just so I can say, well, at least watch some form of Olympic coverage. Okay, so no, I'm making it clear now. Of course, I'll do this when obviously in more detail on our opening episodes for Season 4 of the podcast in September and October. No matter what the league decides to do regarding participation, I'm going to have both an Olympic and a Paralympic break. Because obviously, not long after the Olympics, you've got the Paralympics. But the Paralympics begin on March the 4th. That's the opening ceremony. The close ceremony is March the 13th. And actually, looking at the Sharks' schedule for March, it's not that bad. I don't know what yours is like, Chaz, but mine, it's not that bad. In fact, in that time period, there's only 4 games that I'm going to miss out on during the Paralympics. That is March the 5th at Nashville, March the 6th at Anaheim, and then March 10 and 12 against the LA Kings. And I think it's a home-and-home series where at them one night, they come to us the other. And then March the 15th will be my first Sharks game back from my Paralympic break, because when we take on the Florida Panthers. So really, for the Paralympics, I only miss 4 games. So that's not bad. That is not bad for me, Chaz. I've got a sweet deal there for the Paralympics. Because I'll only have to miss like 4 games, whereas the Olympics, it's a little bit, because if we get a break, fine, we have the break, and as soon as you've finished, getting everybody rat-assed, don't you dare try to look innocent. We know that Vegas is a party capital for the West Coast. We know what you're like. You let contestants go on Love Island there during COVID. You dirty killer monster. And I only know that because Love Island is broadcast on the same broadcaster that Big Brother does, and Big Brother feels we need to promote it. No, don't do that. No, two completely different things. Big Brother is reality TV gold. Love Island is basically watching paint dry. Honestly. Yeah, so basically if we do an Olympic break, and as soon as you're busy finishing getting everybody rat-assed, having them gamble all their money, making them watch inappropriate shows, we know what you get up to there, and all that. Once you all that, all players can go to Beijing. If we have an Olympic break, fine, we have an Olympic break, and that's not going to be a problem. But if we don't have an Olympic break, then it's going to be a problem of, firstly, A, you try to rejig that schedule, and then B, I have to look at it and think, how many games am I going to be missing out on? Because I'm having my break. It's going to be lovely. I'm going to have a lovely time next year, I really am. Because even though I'm not going to Beijing, I never did I for one moment consider going to Beijing, I am for the next one. So in 2026, which is in Milan Cortina, I am interested in going. So regardless of what you want to do that year, I hope to be in the Italian. What's it like in Italy in wintertime? Is it like here? It's quite cold, or is it blazing sun all year round like in California? But I'm really looking forward to next year's Winter Olympics. I'm gonna have a really lovely time here at my home. It's going to be lovely, and I don't have to worry about, either way, what's going on in the league, because I'm not going to give a care for a month. I'm not going to give it a flying duck. Or excuse the pun while we keep watching, if you heard that over there, off the camera. I'm not going to give a flying hoo-ha, I'm going to be focused on the Olympics, rather than league action. Like I said, there's going to be so many more hockey AHL seasons down the line. Winter Olympics only happens once every 4 years. So, no. Next year, no matter what the league decides to do, whether they want to have an Olympic break or they don't have an Olympic break, no matter what you want to do regarding Olympics, I've already made my plans. And that is, I'm having a break. I'm having an AHL break. Okay, so that's what I should call it. Right, there we go, calling it now. That's the official term I'm going to use next year's Olympics. I'm on an AHL break. Right? So I love the AHL break. Doesn't matter what's going on league-wise. I'm going to be focused on the Winter Olympics. So, yeah. But, I am, Chance, I am very, 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 very pissed off with you for having the cheek and the nerve to schedule the Winter Olympics on the opening weekend of the... Sorry, to schedule the All-Star weekend. It's this heat. We're recording this in the summertime, which is actually proving quite tricky to do here in England. I don't know how you guys in the desert cope with this, but so that's on a little bit online. So I don't know how you got the cheek and nerve to schedule this All-Star weekend on the opening weekend of the Beijing Olympics. Shame on you. Can't believe it. So I'm not happy with this, but what it does mean is that for the first time ever, since I got involved with the NHL through choosing my team, the Sharks, in 2009, this is going to be the first time I've chosen to, well, basically, boycott the All-Star weekend. Now, I want to make it very, very clear, I'm not choosing to boycott the event because it's in Vegas, okay? Let's make it very clear who the childish one is. That's who the childish one is. The ugly gear monster is currently in shot. That's who the child is, okay? That's who the children are. I'm not the childish one. It's him. Alright? I have got respect for my rivals. He does not. Alright? So let's make it very, very clear. I'm not the childish one here. I'm being all, he's not gonna watch it because he's a fan and he can't like Vegas. No. Nope. That's not my reasons. I'm not the childish one of our two sides. It's him and his merry bandwagon. Don't even try. You can't try and deny that. Your merry bandwagon. Okay, they're the childish ones because the Winter Olympics is a big deal. Even if you're not a big sports fan, everybody still watches at least a fair bit of Olympic coverage. Even if it's only like a couple of hours, everybody watches at least a fair bit. So they can at least say to people, if they will ask them, did you watch the Olympics? They're like, well, yes, I saw so-and-so going down a bobsleigh. It was quite lovely. Or terrifying, depending on how you view a bobsleigh, for example. No. So that's not why I'm choosing to boycott the All-Star Weekend. I'm choosing to boycott the All-Star Weekend because the All-Star Weekend interferes with my AHL break for the Olympics, okay? So, that's the way it's ruled. Because if the All-Star Weekend had been given to Florida, like it was going to be in 2021, and this was the dates, I was like, well, no, I'm not going to do it because it's still affecting the Olympics. So it didn't matter where the league chose to award this All-Star Weekend to. So it doesn't matter if it was in Vegas or if it was in, say, Tampa again. Or if, for example, I know you recently heard, but let's say if Louis got it again. Hey, Louis! Say if Louis got it again, I still would have had to boycott it. Because Louis understands that that's Winter Olympics and I'm focused on Winter Olympics. Yeah. Do that again in front of the camera so I could see that. Yeah, Louis understands. Louis gets it. See, Chad, Louis understands. Bye, Louis. You're so helpful today, my little fella there. You're so helpful. Love you, Louis. Okay. You know, or say, let's use one example. Let's say Dallas got it. So it doesn't matter which, or if we got given it again, I'd still be like, well, no, I'm not going to watch it, no matter where it goes, because those dates are, I'm sorry, I've booked out as the start of my AHL break, because that's the start of the Winter Olympics. And that's probably going to be the start where obviously BT will give us our coverage. So, no. So, no, it's literally, I'm making it very, very clear, my AHL break for both the Olympics and Paralympics, I'm not gonna swerve from those or deviate at any point of the month. I am very, very clear, next year for both the Olympics and Paralympics, I am having a break from the NHL. No ifs, no buts, I'm having a break. So that I can go and watch the Winter Olympics, which is what I prefer to watch anyway. I'd rather the league just has a mandatory Olympic break, full stop, regardless where it goes, so that players can choose if they want to put themselves forward when they go to the Olympics. Because even though in the NHL you always hear about how the Stanley Cup's the biggest prize in hockey. Well, actually, no, it's not. No, it's not. And I'm not just saying that because neither our teams have won one yet. I'm not saying that, but it's not. The biggest prize in hockey, really, is a gold medal at the Winter Olympics. That's the highest accolade you could go for in hockey. It's not the Stanley. It's not the Calder Cup. It's not the Stanley Cup. It's a gold medal at the Winter Olympics. Nothing else will just compare. So I'm sorry, that's more important. And so, really, there should be a mandatory league break, regardless where it's hosted, so that players, if they want to go, they can choose to go, and maybe have the opportunity to maybe get a medal in the Olympics, which will be even more better than what we have to come back in around May time to then do a Stanley Cup and potentially win that. I was like, well, yeah, so they got a Stanley Cup, but look, I got a gold medal in the Olympics. Look, see how nice and bright and shiny it is, and how it's more valuable than your Stanley Cup. Yeah, so no. So what I'm trying to make is my break is going to be is non-negotiable. I'm not going to deviate from it. No ifs, no buts. I'm having a break. And we'll have to see if the league's going to follow suit. If they are, great, it's going to make things a lot easier. If not, well, that's going to cause a hell of trouble when it comes to doing the season 4 of Show Report. I've already got a fair idea what to do if the schedule stands as it is, and we do go with the schedule that's got the Olympic break. I've got an idea what to do with that, which I'll explain more when we get to season 4. But I've not worked out what to do. Italy goes, right, we're not going again. And has to redo the schedule. I've got no idea what to do if it's that route. So, yeah. So I think I've got a fair idea how it's going to work for one scenario, but I've not got an idea how the other one goes. But anyway, so yeah. But what I want to try and make very, 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 very clear to any Bakers fans watching this, I'm not choosing to boycott next year's All-Star Weekend because it's you guys, okay? That's not the case. I mean, you know that our two teams are going to hate each other, you know, to the end of time. And that's not my fault that you lot are a bunch of sore losers, alright? That's not my fault that you can't handle the fact that you lost in that 2019 playoff match fair and square. Because guess what? He was also tipped to have a good postseason run that year, and he didn't. Did you, Thunderbug? No. So you weren't the only ones. You weren't the only ones who got upset. But you guys, you just can't seem to let it go. You just can't. So, yeah. So I'm trying to do this to the Bakers fans. I'm not boycotting next year's All-Star Weekend because it's you guys hosting it. That's not why. Okay, I actually am the bigger man here in this situation of our two sides. It's not because of that. It's because you've chosen, and I bet Commissioner Bettman has got his hands all over this setup. It's because you have chosen to host the All-Star Weekend on the opening weekend of the Beijing Olympics. So that is why. And I'm not deviating from my break. Okay, not even an All-Star Weekend's gonna deviate from it. In fact, I don't think I've got that many games left. Games between the end of the Olympics and the start of Paralympics. So obviously, once the Olympics is over, I'll come back up. I'll have like a little respite to get ready for the Paralympics. So obviously, I'll be focusing on stuff between the gap between the end of the Olympics and the start of Paralympics. But then when the Paralympics start, I'll be going back on the break again. And obviously, from March 15. Yeah, I'll say 15. I'll give myself a break. March 14. March 15. I'll be back all the way through to probably begin July again. Because if the schedule that actually gets played out is the schedule that's got the Olympic break, then we don't end the regular season until the end of April. So chances are we could maybe have another July Stanley Cup final. Oh dear. Thunderbug, let's tell us what that's like. I've got no idea how to cope with hockey in July. Oh dear. No, it'll be fine. But anyway, no. But I'm just literally not happy because we knew the All-Star week was going to happen. But I would have thought that maybe you could have penciled it on the last weekend of January, which would have been, if I look it up, which would have been the, oh dear, it would have been the 28th and 29th of January. Oh dear. I know a certain Sharky who would not have loved that because because with those dates he would have had to spend his birthday, his 30th birthday next year. Sharky would have had to spend that in Vegas. The poor thing. Well, lucky he doesn't have to now, so he spared that. But obviously it means that I have to not watch the All-Star Weekend, which I'm fine with. I'm fine. You know, I made it clear as day. I'm not going to get involved with the NHL during the Winter Olympics going on, so. If it means I've got to sacrifice missing on the All-Star Weekend, then fair dues, so be it. I'm fine with it. You know, not really bother me in the slightest. But what does bother me is the dates that have been chosen. I would have rather you just did it end of January, and that would be it. Problem solved. We wouldn't have to worry about it. Right, I want to leave it there because we could continue going on and on, but all my anger to literally just continue. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more content, please do click the subscribe button below. Also, get in touch with me on my socials. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, TikTok, AudioMac. You can also email me at my Gmail. And also, if you haven't already subscribed to the podcast, I suggest you do it now so you are ready when season 4 comes. So when season 4 begins, you'll find out in full detail what my plans are for my Olympic break. Because I'm not going to do a total review on it. I'm going to wait until we start season 4 to explain it in full. So you need to make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you know what's going to happen regarding season 4 and the podcast where we basically cross that bridge of what will be February the 4th. That's when I plan to go on break. So I know there'll be a few events start the day before, or 2 days before. I plan to go on break February the 4th. That's my plan. So my plan is to go on my breaks on the opening ceremony day. So for the Olympics, February the 4th is going to be the start of my NHL break, and February the 20th is will be the end of my NHL break for the Olympic side. I'll have a couple of weeks back into the NHL, and then back on the break again. The Paralympic break I'll have will start on the 4th of March, and will end the 13th of March. I'm going to have 14th of March as a rest day, so I'll get back into things. And then March 15th, which will be the first Sharks game for me back from the Paralympics. That's when I'll be back in NHL action all the way through until somebody gets that hold that Stanley Cup in probably July. Hopefully it'll be us. And not him. Not him. But until next time, I'll step into stage, and so I will leave you now. Well, thank you for joining us for another amazing video. To see more, check out our most recent upload here, or why not check out that featured playlist. And don't forget to subscribe. What are you waiting for? I highly recommend it.